What's up, everybody? Welcome to Queer Girl Straight Skates. I'm Revel, this is Bowie, and today we are going to teach you how to jump on roller skates. Like this. Woo! You told me you believe in some. So when it comes to jumping, there's a few things that you need to know how to do, and these are some basics that are going to apply to whatever type of jumping that you're going to do. The first one is that you want to make sure that your feet are staggered. When your feet are staggered, you're going to have more control both in your launch and also in your land. So in your launch, it's going to be able to give you more power coming up, and then in your land, it's going to give you more stability because you have two different places that your feet are standing that can help you maintain your balance. So the first thing is to stagger your feet, and you can stagger them whichever way that is most comfortable to you. The second thing that you really need to do, no matter what type of jump you are doing, is to bend your knees. Your knees need to be as bendy as possible. The more bendy your knees are, the more spring you're going to get into your jump, and the more consolidation and springy that you're going to be when you land. So when your knees are really straight when you land, that's when you tend to banana out. That's when you tend to really jam into your joints and it hurts a lot. And that's when you tend to just overall have a harder impact on your body. So the more bending that you are, like when you're jumping and you're bending and you're landing, it's not going to hurt as much and you're going to be able to jump higher, land stronger, etc. Okay. So now that we know the two basic components of jumping, now let's talk about two types of jumps. So the two types of jumps that we're going to talk about today are one-footed jumps or glitter ponies, which is kind of like this. And then we're also going to talk about two-footed jumps, which is like this. Okay, so let's start with one-footed jumps. When you're doing a one-footed jump, you're going to be approaching wherever you're going to jump, and you're going to want to get into that stagger right away. So you're rolling, you're in your stagger, and then you are going to take one foot, whichever one is most comfortable to you, and you're going to launch off of that foot. And just one foot is going to go into the air, and then the next foot is going to go into the air, and then you'll land with one foot, and then you'll land with the other foot. So it looks a little bit like this. So I am skating. So I'm skating, I'm going to launch, land, land. So in my experience, it's the most beneficial if you choose something that you're going to jump over, because if you don't make a choice about what you're going to jump over, you just might end up rolling past and then never jumping, which, trust me, I've bailed so many times on jumps, so I get you, it's so real. So let's say that I'm going to jump this crack right here. So I know that no matter how far back I go, this is the crack that I am going to jump. So I would at first take it really slow. So I wouldn't go really fast into this jump. I would go slow and be like, okay, I jumped over it. So in very slow motion, what you're doing, you're staggering. I am going to pick up this foot and then pick up this foot, land, and land. Let me go a little bit faster. So I'm staggering, up, up, down, down. This is the crack. Oh, the crack is lava. I can't touch the crack. I have to get over it. I'm like, oh no, jump. Okay, I made it. And you can do that with either foot forward. It does not matter, whichever one's comfortable. Right foot or left foot. And one of them is going to be more comfortable for you than the other. Good. Okay, so once you've comfortably gotten to the point where you can jump over a crack and you're not freaked out by it, then you're going to want to find some obstacles that you can practice jumping over. The best thing that you can do for yourself to build up your ability to jump higher and jump longer is to start small and then build up higher. I have chosen a stick, a cone, and a P-rail. Now, for me, I've set it up this way in order of how intimidated I am by each obstacle. So I am not that intimidated by the stick. I am mildly intimidated by this cone, and I am hella intimidated by the P-rail. I'm more intimidated by the P-rail, even though it's shorter, because it's wider and it's made of wood, and so I just feel like if I'm gonna eat it, I'm gonna eat it over that. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna practice jumping over each article in this order and then keep doing that until I'm comfortable. So when you're going from like jumping over a crack to maybe jumping over this stick, for instance, you're gonna need to do a couple things differently. One thing is you're gonna need to bend your knees more and push off. Give yourself more of a launch to make sure that you can actually get over that stick. And then you're gonna make sure that you need to bend your knees on the land and stagger those feet in order to make sure that you're gonna land that jump. So I showed you earlier in a slower motion, right? So I went, okay, oh no, I went over the crack. So I was like, okay, so now for you to understand how the movement goes, I'm gonna show it to you slower. But in all reality, that's actually harder to do than to go over it faster. So the more speed you have, it actually is going to enhance your ability to jump easier and in a more sturdy fashion. So like I felt way more comfortable that time than I did going super slow, because when you're going super slow, you don't have the momentum to carry you in that landing. So I'm going fast. So when it comes to bigger items, you're definitely going to want to have a little bit more speed, because if I was just to stand here and then jump over, like see, I almost landed on it. Like it's very hard to get that momentum out of nowhere. So you want to give yourself a little bit of speed. So start back here, jumping over it. And then I'm gonna keep jumping over that until I feel comfortable, like, okay, am I comfortable yet? Oh, I don't know. Okay, I think I feel comfortable going over that. So now that I'm comfortable going over that, I'm gonna try something a little bit higher. So now we're gonna talk about two-footed jumps. Now, two-footed jumps is the same idea as a glitter pony or one-footed jump, and the difference is that you are using both feet to launch off of. So a two-footed jump, what happens is you are essentially just jumping with both of your feet at the same time. So you're still gonna go at it staggered, you're gonna pick up both of your feet, and then you're gonna land staggered with your knees bent. An important thing to remember is when you're doing a two-footed jump, you are not jumping and like picking your feet up this way. You are trying to kick your butt. So I am not jumping like this. That is not how I'm jumping. How I'm jumping is I am jumping like this. Do you see the difference in height? When you jump like this, wow, it's so uncomfortable for me. When you jump like that, you're not getting half as much height, and so you are, one, going to probably land a bit harder on your wheels, and it might hurt your joints a little bit and your knees, but two, you're not gonna get the height that you want, you're not gonna get the distance that you want. So make sure that you're really bending into it, you're launching up, you have your feet staggered, you're trying to kick your butt, and then you're landing in that staggered position with your knees bent. One thing to realize about jumping is that jumping messes with your head. Like when you go to jump over something, it feels like you can't do it. And I struggle with it, and I've been skating for 3 years. No. I struggle with jumping over things sometimes because I think that I can't jump over it. And so one thing that you can do to try and deal with it when you get in your head is to set up something and to jump right next to it. When you jump next to it and maybe you record it so you can see how high you're jumping, you can see, oh, look, I'm actually jumping over the height of this object, and I can do it, but I just need to believe in myself. And so even in the recording of this video, like when it came to jumping two-footed over the P-rail, I had to try it like 3 or 4 times because it's hard for me. Oh shit, I'm scared. Okay. I did not do it. That was a two-footed jump. Scary. Nope. Because I get in my head, and even though I know I'm capable of jumping over that P-rail with 2 feet, I still struggle with actually doing it. And I have to have like shove talk me up, or I have to tell myself Rebel, you got this. And so if you're trying to jump and you are struggling, I want you to know that you can do it. You just have to keep trying it. It's one of those things that feels weird and it feels unnatural, but you can build yourself up to jumping over whatever you need to jump over. Thanks for watching this episode of Queer Girl Straight Skates. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tag me in your videos of you jumping. If you want to support me further, you can become a Patreon or you can buy some of my stickers on Etsy. And as always, cheers to the queers!